Okay. And so that's why we all wholesale. Actually, do we have Instagram up? Okay, let's go. Turn it on, man. Turn it on, man. All right, Facebook is up. All right, so you guys, I'm Gregory Bennett, and it's good to be here. We haven't gone live, a live event, probably since the pandemic started. So it's good to be here, and I'm glad that you guys are here. And so when I asked you guys a question, why you guys are here, most of you guys basically said to build wealth. And so there's a note page on the back of the booklet. I do want you guys to take notes as you go. We are offering a free ebook. All you have to do is fill out the green page. And then on the purple page at the end, turn that in. I want to know, I want you guys to critique me and let me know how I did and how we can better serve you. And so my real estate investment journey started at 23 years old. A year out of college, I decided to buy my first property. At 17 years old, I read in an encyclopedia that the way to wealth, 95% of wealthy people gain their wealth through real estate investment. So at 17 years old, that was like an epiphany moment for me. I never forgot it. Graduated from college. Year after college, I started buying properties all in DC. First in DuPont Circle, then Adams Morgan, all throughout DC, and I've never stopped. And it truly is the way to build wealth. And so I really want you guys to kind of digest that. It is the way to build wealth. We have to be investors. Most of us are consumers. We're spending money on non-revenue generating activities, but we have to invest our money. And so there's two types of real estate investment strategies. There's two types of strategies. Write this down. And so the first strategy is your buy for cash strategy, buying for cash. And underneath buying for cash is wholesaling and fixing and flipping properties. We fix and flip properties for a cash payment. And so flipping properties here in our area in the DMV, the average flip is around, I'll just say around $100,000. We buy a property, we flip the property, we make about $100,000. Kind of the fallacy of that is most flippers, to be honest with you, lose money because they don't know what they're doing. They're buying the properties wrong, they're too high. They've got contractors that just aren't working out. Financing isn't good, but you can make a great living and you can make a lot of money flipping properties. Wholesaling, of which we'll talk about today, the average wholesaler here in our area makes about $15,000, $20,000 wholesale deal. I try to make at least $30,000 on a wholesale deal. It's not uncommon to make $50,000 or even $100,000 on a wholesale deal. Am I right about it, Dana?
Right.
So it's not uncommon to make $100,000 on a wholesale deal. Dana has done. I'm just telling all your business, Dana. Dana has done it. He's getting ready to do it again. I've done it. But you've got to have the numbers right. And so there's the buy for cash strategy where we're wholesaling and we're flipping properties. It's a one-time payment. It's not passive income. Flipping properties is not passive income because it's a one-time payment. The other strategy is buying for cash flow and equity and appreciation. That's your buy and hold strategy. And so we buy and hold to truly build wealth. And so those of you who say that you want to build wealth, you want to retire financially free, you want to retire earlier, you want to leave a legacy for your children and your children's children, that's the buy and hold strategy. Now with buy and hold, you need cash in order to do that, right? We need cash. We need credit, we need cash. We've got to be able to find the properties. And so we combine the two strategies. And so one thing that Dorothy does and Dana, they wholesale properties and they take the cash to then buy and hold. You guys with me? Somebody go like this too. Yeah. Okay. All right. And so that's how we build wealth. And then we try to do that as often as we can. The buy and hold is your passive income, is that residual income, that cash flow that we're all looking for. And so what I want you guys to take away from this, this Lunch and Learn, is we're going to primarily talk about wholesaling properties, but your true wealth is taking that money that you're making from wholesaling and invest it into buy and hold properties to build wealth and to invest in other things. We need to be investors. We have to have a portfolio of real estate, and all of you guys are doing it. We're in one of the best, those of you guys here that are local, one of the best areas for buying and holding properties, primarily because our market overall doesn't really depreciate as much as other areas because we have wonderful industry here. We don't see a lot of people losing their jobs because of the federal government is here, right? And so this is a great area. You guys have to jump in and just go for it. We do have a coaching program. A few of my coaching students are here. Valerie, she's one of my coaching students. She's late. Valerie, I'm talking about you. And so you do need coaching. You do need accountability in order to do this. But each and every one of you guys can jump in with the right mentorship, resources, tools, and become a real estate investor. Everybody in here is an investor. And so you've got to have the mindset, and then you've got to take action. You probably hear me say that a few times. All right. And so this is very interactive. If you guys have any questions about anything, just let me know. So let's go to the handout, you guys. And so let's say that Dana, who's one of my coaching students, raise your hand, Dana. Dana finds a property. And Dana, primarily, how are you finding your properties, primarily?
By driving for dollars.
Driving for dollars.
And from branding myself, I'm getting referrals. Yeah.
So he's branding himself, he's driving for dollars. Driving for dollars is the act of driving certain targeted neighborhoods and then writing down the addresses of the houses that look to be vacant or abandoned, and then doing the research, and it can be all automated, doing the research to see who the homeowner is and getting their phone number and calling them to see if they might be interested in selling their house. And then if they are, then negotiating with them at a price that's feasible to you, the investors. And so he does a lot of driving for dollars. He does a lot of networking. Dana, you found a property in Landover, in Kentland. And so you were driving for dollars and networking, found that property. He was able to negotiate with the seller a price, I think it was somewhere around $150,000. Was that it? Put her under contract for $150,000, called a cash buyer. He said, I'm just going to put this under contract. I'm not going to closing. I'm not going to get a loan. I'm going to wholesale this property for a certain fee. He called a cash buyer that actually happened to be me. And he said, Greg, come take a look at this property. I have it under contract. Y'all heard that last part? Had to be with me. He put it under contract, gave me a call. I went and took a look at it. He gave me the price that he wanted for the property, which was above what he had it under contract for. I agreed. We closed that property probably within, 2 or 3 weeks, about 3 weeks. At settlement, I closed on the property. I've since fixed the property up and I'm written it out, Section 8, buy and hold strategy. Dana took his money. The title company wired him his money at settlement. He took his money, he made that in about 2 or 3 weeks, and then he was off to find another property. He found another property in District Heights. Just happened to network. He was in Home Depot, not afraid to talk to people, overheard someone talking about them selling their property, got into a conversation with them. Long story short, eventually put them under contract, and it was rinse and repeat, did the same thing and made another wholesale fee. He's got another one and another one. Now look at Dana. Everybody look at Dana. Ain't nothing special about Dana. Just look at him. You see, ain't nothing special about him. But here's what you've got to ask yourself, or say to yourself. If Dana can do it, you guys can do it too, right? But you cannot be afraid to succeed. Okay? You cannot be afraid to actually go for it. So Dana, tell us a little bit about your journey. You had started investing, and then you failed, and then you started again. Tell us a little bit about that.
So many years ago, probably over 25 years ago, trying to tell my age,
He's old.
I was doing some investing, and long story short, I fell flat on my face because I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anybody who I could go and ask questions and to guide me. And I was just kind of winging it, and I fell flat on my face and lost everything, including the house I was living in. So then a year went by, and I said I'll never do that again. And then I got the inclination that maybe I will try this again and start going to seminars like you're sitting at and listening. And then I went to Greg's seminar and took a close look at Greg, and not so much the information. I watched Greg. I wanted to know who he caught my attention. I wanted to know who he was and if I could trust him. And I felt I could trust him, and I can trust him. I know now I can. Then it was a guess. Now I know I can. And his integrity is what pulled me in. And so I've been here for I guess 2 years now. And that's kind of how it's been.
Okay. So those are examples of wholesale. And so number one, wholesaling is locating a distressed property, putting it under contract, as Dana has, at a discounted price, and then assigning the contract. We're assigning the contract to a cash buyer below market value. That's wholesale. Okay, we're going to find a property and contact a motivated seller. We're going to negotiate with that motivated seller to put that property under contract using a certain formula. Then we're going to contact a cash buyer to see if they may be interested in purchasing the contract or having you assign that contract from them. They're going to close the deal. The cash buyer is going to close on the deal. The cash buyer is going to use their cash, their credit to close on the deal. They're going to get the loan or pay cash for the property. And then at settlement, the settlement company is going to have all of your information, and then they're going to wire you your money, whether it's $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, could be over $100,000 on a wholesale fee. Now, $100,000 is not normal, but it does happen. And it has happened to at least one or two of my coaching students, a few of my real estate agents. They've wholesaled property and have made six figures on it. That's wholesaling, you guys. Wholesalers do not need to hire a contractor or repair the property. You're not doing that. Who does that? Who repairs the property and hires a contractor? The cash buyer does. Wholesaling works best in lower price markets because it's easier for the end buyer to purchase. So we primarily buy properties where we know an end buyer or owner occupant buyer is going to want to live. And so somebody tell me here in our area, what are some good areas for us to look at, for us to actually purchase properties? Somebody tell me. Why do you say Capitol Heights?
Because everybody says that.
I know. I was going to say that. Everybody says Capitol Heights.
I was going to follow up and say, is that oversaturated?
No. So Capitol Heights is a good area. Deanwood is a good area. Is Capitol Heights oversaturated? Absolutely not.
Okay.
So it's not. And so what we're talking about, the reason why Deanwood is good and Capitol Heights is good, Danielle's just gonna walk behind me. That's Danielle, you guys. That's Danielle. She's part of the show. She just gonna walk behind me.
I know that.
Okay, Susan's fault. Let me just answer this real quick. So Deanwood is in Capitol Heights is good because very affordable, probably two of the most affordable areas here in our area in the DMV. So the end buyer, it's affordable for the end buyer. The accessibility to DC, and generally speaking, the renovations aren't that bad. Generally speaking, and so we can buy low and sell high, or buy low and wholesale high. Question? This is not your lunch and learn, okay? I think it says Bennett somewhere around here. I'm just messing with you. All right, so one of the things that you guys have to focus on is the areas that you're going to wholesale. And so when Dana talks about driving for dollars, what are the areas that you guys are going to drive for dollars in? And so we want older houses that are at least, I'll say 50 years or older primarily. Older neighborhoods where you can buy for, let's say, $200,000, but then also renovate and sell for $400,000. So older neighborhoods. Newer neighborhoods really don't work that well for real estate investors in general. We want older neighborhoods. And so one thing I'm going to ask you guys to do before we get out of here is write down the neighborhoods that you want to target, the neighborhoods that you want to focus on, okay? Because I'm going to challenge you guys in the end to find at least one, to do at least one wholesale deal before the end of this year, okay? And so part of that starts with knowing what neighborhoods that you're going to target. So I want you to start thinking about targeting a neighborhood, and that neighborhood should be somewhere where it's an older neighborhood where you can buy low and sell high, or buy low and wholesale high. All right, the advantages of wholesaling are little to no experience required. And so wholesaling is really good for inexperienced investors. And so your excuse is not going to be, I can't get into investing because I don't have any experience. Then I will say you need to start wholesaling. Your excuse cannot be, I don't have the money to invest in real estate. I'll say start wholesaling because you need little to no money. Or I don't have the credit. You can have a 400 credit score and still wholesale, start off wholesaling real estate until you're able to get your credit score up, okay? That's not to say that you shouldn't be working on your credit, okay? We should always be working on our credit because ultimately the way to wealth, write this down somewhere, the way to wealth is to buy and hold properties, okay? We just use wholesaling as a means to get the cash to buy and hold and build wealth. All right, other advantages, minimal risk, little to no risk wholesaling, no contractors or repairs necessary, and you can make profit quickly. Out of all the strategies that I do, and since 23 years old, I've tried everything, I've done everything, wholesaling is my favorite. Because now, so when I started wholesaling many years ago, the average wholesale fee was about $5,000. We were ecstatic getting $5,000 20 years ago, right? Now, as I told you, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 wholesale fee because the sales prices have gone up. So the wholesale fees are going up. Generally speaking, if you were to take 5% of the after repair value, that's generally speaking, that's going to be your, generally speaking, your wholesale fee. About 5% of what the house is worth once it's renovated. You guys with me? So $300,000 house, after the house is renovated, it's worth $300,000. 5% of that is $15,000. Generally speaking, unless you're a really good negotiator, like Dana over here, you're going to make $15,000. okay? So you just kind of do the math. And so wholesaling for me is quick cash, little to no risk. And then it's just rinse and repeat. Just keep doing the same thing. Now, wholesaling is very systematic, okay? We just don't go find a property and then just try to negotiate a certain number from the seller. And so we use a formula. The formula that we use is called the Mayo formula, MAO, maximum allowable offer. It's the maximum allowable offer that you are to make to the motivated seller. That's the Mayo formula, okay? Here's Mayo. I don't have, so write this down. Here's Mayo. Write this down in your notes. And so Mayo is, we find out what the after repair value is, what the house is worth once it's fixed up. And let's say it's 300,000, fixed up 300,000. And so that's the after repair value, the ARV after repair value. Once it's renovated, what is the house worth? Let's say it's worth 300,000. We take that number and then we multiply that by 65%. We multiply that by 65%, and then we subtract out the repair cost. And what's left is what we're going to offer the seller. And so let me give you an example. $300,000 is the after repair value. We take 65% of that, which is $295. 65% of 300,000 is $295. No, $195. $195 is $195. And then we subtract out the repair cost. Let's say the repair cost is $60,000. Repair cost is $60,000. So we subtract out the repair cost and we get $135,000. That $135,000 is the maximum allowable offer that we're to make to the motivated seller. You guys with me? We get $135,000. Did you guys write down 135? Now, as wholesalers, we want to assign this contract to a cash buyer. Many cash buyers in here. Dorothy is one, Danielle is one. You guys go see them after. We've got cash buyers in here. Here's what Dorothy, myself, and Danielle will buy the property for. We take 70% of the after repair value. So 70% of 300,000 is 210,000. We subtract out that same repair cost of 60,000 and we get 150,000. We will buy that property all day long for 150,000. What's the difference? The difference is your wholesale fee. What's the difference? So the difference between what Danielle will buy the property for and what you put the property under contract, which is you put it under contract for 135, she'll be happy to buy that property for 150. The difference is your wholesale fee of 15,000. Or like I said, you take 5% of the after repair value, which is 15,000, and so you can do it that way. Any questions? I went over that fast, and so this is being recorded. You can get it on YouTube. Say it again. So a cash buyer will take the after repair value, which is 300,000 times 70% equals 210 minus, let's just say the repair cost is $60,000, and that's how you get to the 150. 210 minus 60,000 is 150. Or here's a little hack, you guys. Repair costs, generally speaking, because somebody should be asking, how do we get to the repair costs? Generally speaking, you guys, generally, this doesn't work all the time, but if you have to go to a property and you don't have a contractor with you, you don't have a coach or mentor with you, the cash buyer is not with you, to get the repair cost is 20% of the after repair value. Generally speaking, 20%. So if after repair value is 300,000, 20% is 60,000. That's why I use 60,000. Generally speaking, a cash buyer wants to spend about 20% of the after repair value. Generally speaking. Now, if all else fails, you guys write this down. I'm probably giving you guys a little bit too much. Are you guys feeling overwhelmed? All right, generally speaking, a cash buyer will buy the property without any math. The cash buyer will take the after repair value of 300,000, divide that by 2. You divide 300,000 by 2. What do you get? Generally speaking, a cash buyer will take the after repair value, divide it by 2, or take 50% of 300,000, and that's what they'll buy the property for. You get 150,000, right? So that's sort of a shortcut. That doesn't always work, but I don't want the excuse to be, well, I didn't have a contractor with me, so I couldn't make the appointment, or I didn't have an agent to give me after repair value. I don't want any of those excuses. And so I'm giving you a couple shortcuts to get to your number so that you can do your marketing, put the properties, have your appointment, do your negotiation, put the properties under contract, contact the cash buyer, put them under contract. We use 2 contracts when we're wholesaling real estate: the purchase and sales agreement, which is between you, the wholesaler / buyer, and the motivated seller. And then we use the assignment agreement. That's between you and the cash buyer. 2 contracts when we're wholesaling. I don't want there to be any excuse not to take action, not to go for it, okay? And again, you guys can do this. You have to understand. I want you to go back. You can get this. This will be on my YouTube channel, and listen to this and learn. All right, so at some advanced strategies. You've got to build your cash buyers list. Where do the cash buyers come from? Somebody tell me, where are you going to find? You're going to find these properties, right? You're going to find them. If you put forth a lot of effort, you're going to find these opportunities. You've got to put them under contract. And then now you've got to assign these contracts to a cash buyer. Who are the cash buyers? Where are you going to find them? Danielle and Dorothy. Any other cash buyers in here? So let's say that, because Danielle's busy. You're going to call her, and she going to either be, no, she going to either be on vacation. She going to be on vacation or some fabulous restaurant that she goes to. Now, Dorothy will call you back. Obviously, I will call you back. If we are not available, where are the cash buyers? Somebody tell me, where are the cash buyers? Auctions, write that down. You go to the auction, the live auctions in front of the courthouse steps. You take your pad and your pen, and you write down there, hey, how you doing? I'm a wholesaler. I'd love to wholesale you properties. Can I get your name? Give me your name. Jeremiah. And your number. What's your number?
443-452-9706.
Did y'all hear his number? Everybody call him tonight. Give me your email address. And Jeremiah, tell me what type of properties are you looking for in what areas? Oh, you're looking for multifamily in Baltimore? Okay, now you've got a cash buyer that if you find a multifamily property in Baltimore, you call Jeremiah. Or if you find a property in PG County that's residential, you call Valerie, because you've got all their information. And you can get those people at auctions. And so you start to build your cash buyers list. I will say, though, that the number one priority for wholesaling, whether you're wholesaling, buying and holding, or fixing and flipping, the number one priority, write this down, is finding the opportunities. If you find a good opportunity, you will find a cash buyer. There'll be a ton of cash buyers that will be willing to buy the properties from you. There's never a lack of cash buyers if you have a good deal. All right, so we've got to start the process of building your cash buyers list, okay? You start. I love you, Dorothy. I love you, Danielle. But y'all start with me, okay? Can you wholesale an auction property? Can you do that? Can you find a property at the auction and wholesale that? How do you do that? Here's how you do that. And so when we're talking about how do we find the opportunities, one way to find the opportunities is auction properties. We've talked about that. Now, I would want you to contact me or someone else, another cash buyer. Let us know that you're going to the auction. Let us know what property that you're going to be bidding on, and let us tell you what you should not bid over. Because oftentimes we go to the auction and we get excited and we want to win and we overbid. And then at the auction, there's a 5% premium, buyer's premium that you've got to pay. So they put that, it's like a commission, that they put that on top of your winning. So you guys have to know, you've got to know that. When you win the auction, when you win, they're going to ask you to come up and write down the sign the contract. You sign a contract using what I call a generic LLC. You don't put your name, because you can't assign a contract in your personal name to me because I'm not you. But you can assign a contract that's an LLC. I can take over the interest of that LLC. And so what we generally do is use the address and have that as the LLC. So 123 Main Street LLC. And so that's how you're able to wholesale an auction property, because when you win, you're going to put down as the buyer's name 123 Main Street LLC. You're going to call me and say, hey, Greg, you told me to bid, not to bid over 150. I actually got it at 140. I just put the buyer's name as 123 Main Street LLC. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to either run down to, if it's in Maryland, down to West Crescent Street, or DCRA if it's in DC, and then I'm going to register that LLC, or do it online and register the LLC. You guys with me? And then I can do the articles of incorporation, whatever else, articles, and what goes with that? The articles, and what else?
Operating agreement?
Operating agreement. There you go. All right. And so this is when we're wholesaling. That's how you're wholesaling auction properties. That's how you're wholesaling short sales. That's how you're That's how you're wholesaling like REOs. Anything outside, anything that can be on the MLS, we're using an LLC. Anything off market, you can use your personal name as long as you say as the buyer's name, like your name, John Smith, and or signs. You guys with me? Any questions? And so when we're wholesaling properties that are not on the MLS, I want you can use your name. My preference would be for you guys to use an LLC. It could even be your personal LLC, because you're going to assign that contract. I almost never want you to use your own name, but if you do, put and or signs as the buyer. John Smith and or signs. Assigns. 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 Can we wholesale multifamily properties? Shake your head, yes. Can we wholesale businesses, hotels? I know someone I think he was in McLean, Virginia, found a hotel, found a operator of hotels, assigned a contract that he put the property in the contract, assigned that contract, and made $1.2 million wholesale hotel. All right, can we wholesale land? We can wholesale anything. All right, number 4 on here, under advanced strategies, create a system for constant follow-up. And so we like to say that the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. You can't just contact a homeowner and let's say that they're not ready and then never call them again, as most people do. We've got to have a system that constantly follows up. The investor that follows up has a great follow-up system, that investor wins. And so what I try to do is I create either like a hit list of people that I have to constantly call. I put it in my phone. You can use technology. Write this down. PropStream as a CRM that will help you follow up. And then there's this Follow-Up Boss. There's other CRMs that you can just kind of plug in the information, and they'll remind you. They'll either remind you to follow up, or they'll follow up for you on a drip campaign that's automatically emailing, texting, that kind of thing. So communication is key. And so what makes, how am I able to make more money on a wholesale deal than, let's say, for example, Dana? The way I'm able to do that is I know my numbers. You guys have to know your numbers, and then you've got to know how to negotiate. And so oftentimes, wholesaling and the success of wholesaling and the amount of money you make is simply predicated on how well you're able to negotiate. And so let's say you run your numbers on that $300,000 deal after repair value, your number is 150. You always start off by having the owner, the motivated seller, speak first. You've looked at the property. Mr. and Ms. Seller, do you have an idea what you want to sell the property for? You let them speak first. If they say, I'm willing to sell the property for 150, your number is 150. Are you excited about that? No, why not? Huh? No, my number is 150. I'm buying the property for 150. I'm going to rent it. Let's say I'm going to wholesale that property and make $15,000. If my number is 150, so that I can make 15,000, and they tell me they're willing to sell the property for 150, I'm excited, right? Huh?
Yes.
Am I ecstatic? Huh?
No.
I got my little coaching students over here. If I want 150, they tell me 150, I'm going to counter that 150 because that was easy, right? There's no negotiation. There's no
Pain.
there's no pain. When we negotiate, we need pain. If I'm at 150, they say 150, I'm coming back at 130. Well, Mr. and Ms. Seller, because the roof is already leaking, the property's been sitting here for about a year. And I get you see the little thing in my head right here? I give one of them, and then I look down, I look up, and I say, I was thinking 130. Because the easiest thing to do when you're negotiating, if they're at 150 and I'm at 130, what's the easiest thing to do? Hey, can we meet in the middle? Jeremiah, can we meet in the middle?
Absolutely.
Okay. You owe me 140. So when we're negotiating, number one, there needs to be pain. Can't be easy. When it's been easy for me, I walk away upset. I feel like I left some money on the table. But we want to negotiate. You cannot be afraid to negotiate. We're hiring a virtual assistant to help us find deals. And so we're in the process of finding a virtual assistant. And so Keith, my brother, this is Keith back there, I sent him some virtual assistants from the Philippines. Now they put on one of the sites that we use to find virtual assistants, the price that they want to be paid. And so the price that they want to be paid, let's say it's $10 an hour. So Keith is telling me that he's ready to hire some virtual assistants. I'm like, Keith, well, what are we paying them? He said, oh, they want $10 an hour. And I'm like, no. If they want 10, no, Keith, no. We got to negotiate. We negotiate everything. The better we negotiate, the more money we make in this game, okay? So we've got to learn how, I teach my coaching students, we've got to learn how to negotiate. We cannot be afraid to negotiate. Dana, are you afraid to negotiate?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I've learned everything.
Hey, I will tell you that Dana is not afraid. So Dana will bring me a property, and I know what the numbers are, because Dana, I teach this stuff. That Dana right there, that one right there, he will negotiate with me, and then he'll throw it back at me. Well, this is what you taught me. Am I right, Dana? Dana's something else. All right, you guys. So we've got to learn how to negotiate. You have to put in your head a goal. We've got about what, three and a half more months left in this year. My goal for you is to close at least one wholesale deal. Okay? My goal for you is to close at least one wholesale deal, each and every one of you. Now, you guys, I'm going to write this down, but you guys tell me, what are you going to do? In order to close at least one deal between now and the end of the year, what are you guys going to do? Somebody tell me. Okay, so we've got driving for dollars, D for D. What else?
Network.
Network. You've got a network. Where are you going to network?
Everywhere.
So she's saying network everywhere. Some of the easiest ways to network is like having a hat or a shirt. We buy houses, like we have our Bennett Boot Camp shirts on. And so networking, telling everybody you know that you're looking for a property. And so we've got driving for dollars. We've got networking. What else? What else are you going to do? Follow up. Okay. What else?
Direct mail.
Huh?
Direct mail.
Direct mail pieces, postcards work really well. Start studying auctions and auction sites. What else? What else are you going to do?
Social media.
Social media, good. Social media. What else? Somebody say MLS. And so, as investors, we primarily want to find properties that are outside of the MLS, because when they're on the MLS, you know, everybody in really the world has access to the properties, including people who are buying, owner occupants. And so do we buy properties from the MLS? We do, but we're primarily trying to do some marketing so that we're the only ones meeting with the seller, or we're one of 2 or 3 people. What else are we doing? What else are we doing? What else are you guys doing to close at least one deal between now and the end of the year? What else?
Cold calling.
Cold calling.
Increase marketing in general.
Do more marketing. Cold calling. We have a free cold calling class every Thursday night, headed by Keith, that if you're interested, you can be on. He teaches you how to cold call, how to deal with objections, scripts, all of those things, how to negotiate, all of those things every Thursday night. What else? What else are we doing?
Probate.
Try to get probate, so probate is good. Is anybody interested in building a cash buyers list? Should you be building a cash buyers list? Okay, cash buyers list. Those of you guys who are not real estate agents, you've got to figure out how to get the after repair value. So if you're not a real estate agent, you've got to align yourself with a real estate agent. Any real estate agents in the house? A lot of Bennett Realty Solutions and others are in here. Network with these guys. Okay, network with these guys. You want to align yourself with the real estate agent. What else? Do you need to build a team? Who needs to be on your team? In order to be a successful wholesaler, you've got to have a team of people that's going to help you in this case, get to that one deal a year. I mean, one deal by the end of this year. Who's the team? Who's the team that can help you? A contractor? Who else? Cash buyer? Who else? A mentor, a coach, or a mentor? Who else? Other networking with other investors. They may have deals. Anybody else that can help you guys? An investor-friendly title company. We have Celebrate Settlements right here. Title company, investor-friendly. Who else? Maybe a real estate attorney. And so you've got to build a team. You can't just say, I want to wholesale and really go out there not having the whole package together. It's not to say that when you guys are leaving here, when you're driving wherever you're going from here, you shouldn't have your antennas up. You shouldn't be looking. Because you might drive by a property that looks to be vacant or abandoned. You want to write their information down. At the very least, give me a call. Hey, I think this might be a deal. Or I contacted the owner. Someone emailed me yesterday. Will you go with me on Saturday? I've contacted the owner. I've got a property in Capitol Heights. Can you run the numbers? This is what they want. I ran the numbers. It's close. I'm going with them tomorrow. You want to put yourself in that position. What else should we be doing in order to be successful and close at least one deal before the end of the year? What should you guys be doing? Huh? That's so consistent. We've got to have consistency. You've got to take action. So write that down. You've got to take action. And we want to be predictable. We want our success to be predictable. The way our success is predictable is that we've got to be consistent on everything that we're doing. Because it's easy to say that I'm going to get my deals from networking or from social media. Those things are like you're branding yourself, but there's really not a lot of predictability there. I don't know if I'm going to get a deal in the next 30 days by networking. I know that I'm going to get a deal in the next 30 days if I'm sending out postcards, because I know that if I send out X amount of postcards, I'm going to get at least one deal. You guys with me? The same with like auctions and things like that. So you do want to do also things that are very, very, very predictable. All right. The number one thing that you've got to do, and you've got to put in your head, and I've asked you to write this down already, is the marketing. The investor that can generate the most leads is going to make the most money. And you've got to take action with the marketing. And so, Dorothy, what type of marketing are you doing to get leads? Why don't you stand up, Dorothy?
Okay. Actually, I'm going after.
No. Well, she. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Actually, I'm going after. My market is tired, burned out landlords. I started this during the pandemic. And the reason I started doing that is because of the eviction moratorium. And people did not have to pay rent, because of the eviction moratorium. So I tried 3 different methods, and I do direct mail marketing. So I sent out 3 different types of marketing pieces, and the third one is what really clicked. And so what I found, and once you do your marketing, you got to be good with marketing, because if you don't have marketing, you don't have a business, and your business will die slowly or quickly, but your business will die. And so when I started sending out my marketing pieces, I found out that there's a certain demographics that I do business with. So then from my marketing niche, I found another niche. So basically, my niche is senior citizens, male, female, doesn't matter what color, and they have some type of a health challenge. And so it could either be them, their spouse, and those are the people that I go after. And then with your marketing, you have to know your metrics. You really have to know how many people for example, I know if I send 8 letters to 800 people, I know I'm going to close a deal. I know I'm gonna talk to about 8 to 10 people, and out of those 8 to 10 people, I know I'm gonna close the deal. So you really have to know your marketing. You gotta really, you gotta get good in marketing. You really do. I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Dana, once you step up a little bit, what are you doing, Dana? You're finding a lot of deals. What's been working in the last year for you?
Mostly at this point, start off driving the dollars, but kind of transition into branding. So I'm noticing that I'm getting referrals, and people are coming to me through referrals. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now, getting referrals.
Okay,
Referrals.
and you're getting a ton of referrals.
Yes.
Okay. Who else is doing some marketing? Allison, you found some deals in the past. What have you done?
Auction and marketing myself is what I've done. So I actually now have someone who finds deals for me and sends them to me to see if I have people that are interested in them.
Is that a bird dog or someone that's making calls for you?
Bird dog.
Okay. All right. So bird dog is just you guys find family and friends to actually that know that you're a real estate investor, that you're looking for deals. And if they see a property that looks to be vacant or abandoned, you tell them to give you the address. If you close the deal, then you give them a referral fee. That's a bird dog. So now you're building a team of almost like marketing reps that are out in the field working for you. Those are called bird dogs. Of late, I've been finding properties. I get a lot of referrals, but I'm doing a little bit of what Dorothy does. I've been sending out postcards. We do a lot of social media. I do have a website. I use On Carrot, like the carrot you eat, O-N. I use an On Carrot website. It's a real estate investor website. And then I just try to drive a lot of traffic to that website. And so you guys can go to my website, fastcashdmv.com, fastcashdmv.com. That's an On Carrot website. So if you want a website, if you're going to be doing a lot of marketing, social media, postcards, emails, then you do need to have a website. And my On Carrot website, I had that up and running in probably like 15, 20 minutes. Because all the content is there. All I did was upload my my picture, my name, the areas that I wanted, and a couple other things, and my website was up. And so you could have an investor website if you really want to get into this. I do want you to set a goal for your investing. If you're starting off wholesaling, your goal should be at least try to do one a month as a big goal. Because one a month, if you're averaging, let's just say, total transparency, what are you averaging on a wholesale deal, Dorothy?
My average is about 20.
About 20,000.
About 20.
Would $20,000 a month for some of you guys make a big difference?
Yes.
Dana, just total transparency.
I have received.
Yeah, but just kind of on average.
Yeah.
On average, Dana, just on average.
Wholesale fee at this point, probably 70 to 80.
70 to 80,000? Yeah, Dana's getting a lot of big deals. Would $70,000 or $80,000 a month kind of make a difference in your life?
Yes.
Okay. So what Dana is doing is not normal, but and I can attest to, I've been part of some of his deals, so I can attest to that. That's what he's doing, kind of on average. But it can be done. It's not normal. Average, probably, I'll say 15 to 20,000. But if you strive to get to that 15 to 20,000 and try to do one deal a month, one deal every other month, that could make a difference. When we make that money, though, what are we doing with that money? I heard that Mercedes has a really good G-Wagon. It's a new G-Wagon that just came out. Are we buying G-Wagons for ourselves? No. What are we doing? I heard, I think I saw one of you guys walk in here with like a Louis Vuitton bag. What is that? Okay, I don't can't see. Are we spending money on those things? Huh? Anthony, are you spending money on bags? What are we doing with the money?
Reinvesting a percentage of it.
What are we reinvesting in?
Marketing.
So two things, you guys, two things. We're reinvesting some of that money into more marketing, more paid marketing, so we can get even more deals. And then we're saving up enough money to really build wealth buying and holding properties, okay? If you guys aren't prepared, haven't prepared yourself to buy and hold, then you need to start doing that while you're wholesaling properties, because that's the true way to building wealth. Buy and hold, your goal for buying and holding properties is at least one deal a year. One deal a year. Can you give me one deal? Can you buy and hold at least one property a year? And that one property can be multifamily, but you guys can do it. I've got a number of people in my coaching program that are doing it. Danielle just bought a property that's an Airbnb in Baltimore. And was that an auction property? Was that Ashland Auctions? All right, so she bought a property at Ashland Auctions, and all the coaching students went and looked at it. It's beautiful, fabulous. But that's what you can do. And so she's building wealth. And so one last thing is we build wealth, and we set goals, but we've got to have a motivation. Like, why are we doing this? Why are you guys here? What's your motivation? What's your motivation, Dorothy?
My motivation is to have freedom, financial freedom, emotional freedom, choice freedom, and time freedom. That's my why.
Dana, what's your motivation?
Is to, second, retire and retire comfortably, put my children and grandchildren in a very good position where they don't have, I shouldn't say have struggle good, but just want to put them in a good position. And first and foremost,
And you want to go from where you are working full time to doing this, investing full time.
yeah.
Danielle, what's your motivation?
My motivation is I don't want to answer to anybody. And so that's very important. My background is healthcare. So during COVID, it became very challenging, very different. And so, but the passion wasn't there. So it kind of shifted my mindset. And so with that, I'm also teaching what I've learned to the community, to my kids, for us to create generational wealth, because we don't share. So those are my whys.
And so
I like the vacations.
yeah, we know that. Danielle's one of our real estate agents and one of our platinum coaching students. And so she's graciously allowed us to view her properties. I remember we went to Fells Point,
Yeah.
went to, because of her. And so you guys can do it. Like if we can do it, if I can do it, if Dana can do it, if Dorothy can do it, if Danielle can do it, you guys can do it too. I want you guys to realize your true potential. Your excuse is not going to be, I haven't been educated, or I haven't learned, or I haven't been around successful people that look like me. That's not your excuse. Like we're here for that. We want to help you. We want to be your mentor. And so all you've got to do is just jump and just get out here and do it. Ask a lot of questions. We do have a coaching program that has helped a lot of people here. Keith, you want to quickly tell us a little bit about the coaching program?
So the coaching program is right now, we've got 6 months. We're going to hold your hand every step of the way. Every all things, literally buying and holding, how to finance the property, how do you put money when you're buying and holding. We have shadow opportunities, we have cash buyer opportunities, just coming into the program. So we've got a lot going on. It's an exciting time. We're really blessed to live where we live because we have a lot of people in DC and Boston. So if you guys are interested in learning more about patent coaching,
They can turn to page 4.
on page 4, I will be around. I have cards for you. If you want to set an appointment with me, we'll give you a 9-year program that we can have a whiteboard where you are now, where you're trying to go. Give me a call. you got a lot of, expertise and great, and definitely have. So don't hesitate, let's go, it's great conversation, let's go.
And then one of the biggest things that we've started this year is we not only have you shadow our students look at their properties, my properties, but we're also, some of our students, they've sold to each other. We give opportunities. So we're not just a coaching program to say, this is what you do, go do it. We also give you opportunities to buy. And so we're going out a week from tomorrow. I've got a couple of properties here in PG County that they'll be able to actually look at and purchase if they like. I do want you to fill out this green form, put all your contact information, send that up front. We want to stay in touch with you, but we're also going to send you, I wrote an ebook on wholesaling. And so we're going to send you the ebook absolutely free. So just fill out that information. Susan in the back is our recruiter on the brokerage side. And so if you're a real estate agent, it's not a requirement to have your real estate license to invest. But the reason I got my real estate license many years ago, I started off as an investor. Then a few years later, I got my real estate license with no intentions on selling real estate, but I just wanted better access. I wanted access to the MLS. I wanted to learn how to write my own contracts. I got tired of waiting on agents to send me deals or to run the numbers for me. So I got my own license. If you guys want to get your license, already have your license, want to be with an investor-friendly brokerage that will give you 100% of your commissions, you can either try to talk to Susan, she's a little bit under the weather, or on page 5, just fill out this information and we'll get right back. Any Bennett Realty Solutions agents in the house? We got a number of them. Let's go. Page 6, if you guys have deals that you want me to vet, we do buy houses. Here's the thing, you guys. We talk a lot about building wealth. We don't talk enough about protecting your wealth and investing in other vehicles other than real estate. We've got to protect our wealth. And so we started, well, about a year ago, a financial services company to help our agents and help others really protect their wealth. And we're doing a good job at that. And so on page 5 is, Big Life. What page is it? On page 9 is our Big Life Financial Services. If you're interested in either becoming an agent or purchasing life insurance, fill out that page. Stephanie is here. Raise your hand, Stephanie. Raise it higher, Stephanie. She's with Big Life Financial Services. All right, our mortgage company is here. They do a ton of investor loans. They're the ones that we talk to when we're trying to buy and hold properties. Oftentimes we can buy and hold properties with no money down. Celebrate Settlements is here. We already talked about them. So look, you guys, it's all up to you. Like, what are you going to do? What's the next step? When you leave out of here today, what are you going to do? You do need to do the marketing. You do need to build a team. You do need coaching and mentorship. Coaching and mentorship is going to help you get to your goals a lot faster. And it's going to help you minimize your mistakes. Most of all, as we're closing out 2022, for a lot of us, we need some type of change in our lives. You know, unfortunately, some of us are living paycheck to paycheck or commission to commission. We're kind of stuck in a rat race of life with really no way out and no solution to our financial woes. Real estate investing can be the solution if you want it to be. And real estate investing, like I said, we're doing it. Nothing special about us. You guys can do it too. And be special to your family. Leave a legacy. Leave an inheritance. You guys can do it. All you've got to do is just take that first step and do something. Contact us. My information is on here. If you want to contact me, you can always go to my schedule, GB, my initial is gbschedule.com to make an appointment with me. But you guys can do it. You just have to ask for help. All right, any questions, you guys? Go ahead. So they're virtual, and they're at, is it 6:30?
6:30.
Okay, so it's 6:30 on Thursdays. And we can help you. We want to be a success for you.
And Greg, there's one piece of advice that I'd like to give everybody. You talked about how to build your buyers list. This is a hack I found, and buyers will close like very quickly. Once you get your deal under contract, and make sure your numbers are really good, and then if you find a house, and when you have the property under contract, and you're pulling comps, find out who the rehabber was on a particular comp. Find out who that person is and call that person. I picked up 2 buyers like that. I was pulling comps.
Go ahead.
Okay, yes, and I was pulling comps, and these were in Capitol Heights. I picked up a buyer in Fairfax County, and I picked up a buyer in Loudoun County. And these buyers, they buy at 75%, and they can close as soon as title is done.
You
So
said they're buyers in Loudoun County?
Yeah.
Are they buying in Loudoun County?
No.
Okay.
So what happened was, there was a property I had in contract in Capitol Heights. There was a comp that I was using to analyze the deal. I got the idea to call that particular buyer to see if they wanted my deal, and they did. So I had to go through the Maryland Department of Assessment and Taxation, find out who owns LLC, and then I split traced the person. I picked up 2 buyers like that, one in Loudoun County, one in Fairfax County, and they bought my deals at 75%, and they can close as soon as title is complete, which can be 24 hours, 48 hours. So that's a great way to build your buyers list as well.
All right, any other questions, you guys?
Yeah. Initially, are you saying that you're a wholesaler or?
No.
Okay.
Are you saying that to the motivated seller?
Yes.
No, so good question. So we don't tell the motivated seller that we're wholesalers. We tell the motivated sellers that we're buyers. We're gonna buy your house. And that's what you tell them. We're gonna buy your house. And then you put them under contract, and then you contact the cash buyer. But no, we're not telling them that. Everything is above board. We're putting everything on the settlement sheet. Everything is above board. It says in the contract, in the purchase and sales agreement and the assignment agreement that we teach our coaching students, it says in the contract that we may or may not assign the contract. And so they've already signed the agreement allowing us to assign the contract if we want. All right, you guys, fill this form out and send it up front. We'll be walking around picking them up. Also, the purple form, I'd like to know how we're doing as a group. We've got lunch for you guys. I'll be here if you guys have any questions for me while you guys are eating lunch. But my hope is that you guys got at least 1 or 2 nuggets out of this, that you use this as a springboard to help you build wealth, to get you going as a real estate investor. As I look around the room, I know some of you guys have kind of started and then stopped. Hopefully this is a springboard for you to continue to go. All right, you guys, take care. God bless. Have a great weekend, and let's make some money. Hey, Susan, how do you want them to just go on back and get it, or what? You guys can go back and get a sandwich.
You ended it?
Yeah.